Kathryn swears. The myth of the Nibelung. The myth of the Nibelung. Kathryn swears.
I have a new friend. Her name is Shirley, and she is 77 years old. And Shirley's a legend. I travel with Shirley most nights, late at night, down to Frankston on the Frankston line. I get off at Parkdale, and Shirley goes on to Frankston, and then she goes on to Hastings, and she makes bed maybe by 1 in the morning in her retirement village. Shirley and I are committed to telling a story uptown most nights, so that's why we do that. And the story I'd like to share with you is that of the myth of the Nibelung. And it's reference to the Norse mythology of giants, of godlike creatures, of raw characters. And it's largely about two characters in particular and their generational experience, the actions they set in place in the first generations, and how the genes and those actions and consequences affect generations thereafter. These are characters, Ulrich and Wotan. And they're not like in Christian mythology, really good, supreme gods, very, very fine, and evil. They're not polar opposites. It's just between bad and badder in character. And so, Ulrich is a deformed, ugly, loathsome creature who everyone knows. And dear old Ulrich is in love with Rhine maidens, is mesmerised by the beauty of Rhine maidens, their lightsome spirits in the Rhine. And the Rhine maidens' job in their life is to guard the gold, the Rhine gold. And Ulrich has aspirations to have one of them, or all of them, or whatever. But the Rhine maidens reject his advances. But worse than that, they debase him. They humiliate him publicly. And that's unforgivable. And the premise for the myth is thus set because Ulrich forfeits all human love thereafter. He is humiliated and he wants none of it. But he will take the gold. He will take power, wealth and control. And he steals the Rhine maiden's gold. And he makes it into a ring and a Tarnhelm. The Tarnhelm has the power to change matter, to change his physical being. The ring is control. He can control all earthlings, the workers of this world. And he does. He exploits them. He's cruel. He's a megalomaniac, and the power goes to his head. He's perfectly happy. He has control, and that satisfies him. Contrasting to this is Wotan. He's the leader of the demigods. And he has a problem in the sense of authority is complete, but doesn't have power. A king has authority, but do they have power? They have to negotiate everything. So Wotan is the spin master. He cuts deals beautifully. Wotan's ambition is to have Valhalla, a palatial environment for the gods. And he needs it to be built. And importantly for Valhalla is to take the dead heroes from the battlefield. And this he leaves up to his daughters, the Valkyries. They don't just take the dead, they take the heroes to Valhalla, where the gods reside. Problem is, to build Valhalla, Wotan has to employ the giants as two giants. Again, unfortunate creatures. And he sells them his sister-in-law, who has the use and the beauty that will satisfy the giants. And that's just a temporary accommodation. But he also has to make the final payment to the giants, his sister-in-law, to come back to the family. And so, he steals the gold and the ring from Aubrey. To steal from a thief is not an issue, surely. The gold and the ring goes to Wotan, but he also passes it on to the giants in payment for getting his sister-in-law back and for Valhalla. He is satisfied. But somehow, when the ring was taken from Aubrey, he cursed it. He said that anyone who touches it or owns it will have crisis. They will have death. They will be ill-fated. And thus it is. Wotan's children, who were twins, boy and girl, are separated at birth. They coincidentally find one another as adults and fall in love, an incestuous love, which causes their destiny of death. However, they do have a son, Siegfried, and Siegfried is saved by Brunhilde, who is the daughter of Wotan. Brunhilde ensures that Siegfried continues. But Brunhilde is punished by Wotan for doing what he does not want to happen. And she is sentenced to sleep for eternity, surrounded by fire. And only the greatest, fearless hero will be able to ever get to Brunhilde and wake her. And this is where the stretch of imagination does take place. It is Siegfried 20 years later who wakes Brunhilde. Brunhilde wakes and finds complete love in Siegfried, and he likewise, and they swear love for eternity. However, Ulrich's son, generations down, is envious and therefore courts to kill Siegfried. He is successful because Siegfried actually takes a potion by which he sees another woman and falls for her, and Brunhilde's love is counted for nothing. However, the potion wears off, but the revenging forces do kill Siegfried. What is left is Brunhilde. And of all the carnage, of all the deceit, of the murders, Brunhilde is left as the one who gave love faithfully. And she continues to do so because she joins Siegfried in death in the flames of Valhalla. One is left at the end of the story with hope because there is one person who stuck to their words, stuck to their commitment, to their belief in love. This story, the myth of the Nibelung, was written over 100 years ago, and it was written in the Industrial Revolution, when people were changing from peasants into commodities in the factories, into machine workers and so on. And the author of the myth of the Nibelung saw that society was changing completely. Those who had money and cultivated money and cultivated power were taking over this world. And yes, the churches and religion were amongst those most powerful and the most manipulative. The myth of Nibelung is otherwise known as the ring cycle, written by Wagner. Shirley and I are known as volleys, volunteer participants. So we've been in the ring cycle and its staging this past month to standing ovations in the Arts Centre on the State Theatre. It has been an extraordinary success. Shirley and I travel home to Frankston late at night, and we discuss humanity likewise from the perspective of two very ordinary mere mortals of this world. Mr. Toastmaster.